Hey all, Dwarflord here. Today we're going over what I think is basically the worst of these Sunder charms. Technically it's second worst because the absolute dumpster tier one is the minus magic Sunder. It just tickles, right? You just tickle the monster on a Hammerden or a Bone Necro with that charm. So that charm needs to change. It's absolute dumpster tier. So the second worst, and for all intents and purposes, the worst charm is Bone Break, the physical one. So we're gonna go over why the trade-off I think is not that good. Are you gonna want to keep this charm in your bags all the time?
No, I don't want to do that.
25% extra damage taken. Well, how often is it going to be useful? Only against physical immunes. How often are we going to find a physical immune? We have physical immunes in Forgotten Tower, some levels, in the jail, Far Oasis, the little bug swarms, Arcane Sanctuary, some of the tombs of Taurasha, Act 3, in the Flayer Dungeon. And we'll see them in the Crystalline Passage, Glacial Trail. There can be the Bloodlords, those big frenzy guys. There could be ghosts, and there could be succubi in different areas. In the Frozen Tundra, there could be physical immune goats, not ghosts, like boo, ghost. More like bah, bah. I'm so bad at making a goat noise. I'm just trying to say GOAT, not greatest of all time, but you know what I'm saying. Those hooved goat men. Yeah. Anyways, there's not that many physical immunes. How often do you walk into a room and it's full of fire immunes? Or some other immune all the time? How often is there a room full of physical immunes? Probably never. You just have physical immunes sprinkled here and sprinkled there. A little bit of spice. They just spice things up. And so are you going to want to keep this charm in your inventory all the time when you're only going to come across a physical immune sometimes?
No, I don't want to do that.
Probably not. But don't get me wrong. This charm will make you do way more damage to a physical immune if you have amplified damage as well. Let's do some quick math, some quick napkin math. So, if an enemy has 100% physical resistance, what that means is they're immune. They take no damage from physical sources. If we are going to put amplified damage on that enemy, now the curse amplified damage is doing minus 100% physical resistance. But that doesn't take them to 0%. Because we're breaking an immunity, we are going to have it be 1/5 or 20% effective. So it goes from 100% resist to 80%, which means you're doing 20% of the damage you would normally do. And that's how it's always been. If you're a Barbarian or a Zeal Pally or Fury Druid, if you're doing a physical damage dealer, you want that amplified damage so that when you come across a physical immune, you can break it and do some damage. And when you're against a normal monster, you just mow them down because you are actually really decreasing their physical resistance into the negatives and therefore doing way, way more damage. What does the Sunder charm do? So what it's going to do is it's going to take that 100% down to 95%, and then that's nothing, right? To go from 100 to 95. But then when we, on top of that, add amplified damage, we're going to go to minus 105. So for all intents and purposes, let's just consider amplified damage plus the Sunder charm just 100% for easy napkin math, which means whatever your on-screen damage is what you would do against a physical immune. Well, Berserk does almost the same damage as what Frenzy with your Sunder charm and amplified damage would do. It's the same. So for a Barbarian, are you going to want to carry this charm around with that handicap of 25% more damage taken?
No, I don't want to do that.
When you could just, one point in Berserk, take them out? I don't think so. I think you're going to use Berserk, as as a Barbarian always has. Is a Zeal Pally or a Boson or a Fury Druid going to have to use this? Maybe. But again, physical immunes are very sporadic, and probably you don't have to pay too much attention to countering them, is my best guess. I don't think this charm is necessarily worth using. Are you going to want to keep it in your cube for the occasion where you do have to fight a physical immune? Yeah, probably not. All right, this is perfect. Got some champion ghosty boys. Just try and separate them. You're gonna mana burn me. You get farmed at the waypoint. Alright, so a champion specter. Like, I do pretty good damage to it. I mean, it's not amazing. This is players 1, but the Sunder charm allows me to deal with them. But I can just zerk them down so much faster, right? I kill 3 in the time it takes me to kill 1. So you might have thought, hey, he took care of that champion specter reasonably fast. But then he just zerked it down way faster. Again, this guy doesn't have amplified damage on the beta here. We don't have a source of, to my knowledge, amplify or decrepify. Instead, we have Mara's Kaleidoscope on a Barbarian. You know it's the beta, so Blizzard always trolls us with goofy stuff. Wise, unbending wheel and a phase blade. These are the questions that keep me up at night. Anyways. So, what do you think? Is Bone Break worth always having that damage increased by 25%? Most areas do not have physical immunes. Maybe you just throw it on sometimes? That would be okay to do. Oh, this area is terrorized and there's always lots of physical immunes in here. I'll throw the Bone Break on. But I don't think this is going to be, the melee character's solution. Am I crazy? What do you think? Put it in the comments. I think that Bone Break is just not that interesting. And the other charms are amazing. Hey, thanks for watching the video. If you like what you saw, please like and comment below. I will respond to you. Or check me out on Twitch. I am streaming now. Dwarf Lord TV. Dwarf Lord out.